Well, good evening. I'm Barry Russell, Deputy Director of Parks, Recreation and Community Facilities for the City of Richmond. It's my pleasure to welcome you here tonight for the Jefferson Park Peace Fountain dedication. This is all in honor of Richmond's Compassion Ambassador, Alicia Raisin. I would like to point out a few of our celebrities in the crowd tonight, if I could. District 9 Rep Betsy Carr is with us tonight. Police Chief Alfred Durham, Fire Chief Robert Creasy. You'll see them a little bit later showing their expertise with the bells. And right now, if I can, I'd like to welcome Mayor Dwight C. Jones for some comments for tonight. Thank you.
Well, good evening, everyone. And let me also mention the presence of Delegate Jennifer McClellan, who's here. Where is she? Okay, are you on the program? Okay, so I don't have to do that. Are you on the program, Betsy? All right, Delegate Betsy Carr is also here, so give her a round of applause as well. So thank you for joining us tonight to dedicate this fountain in Jefferson Park. When they said that they had a fountain, I thought it was going to be a little fountain, but when I came out here and saw this fountain, this is a fountain, isn't this a fountain? This is a major fountain, a major addition to this neighborhood, a beautiful piece of artwork, a peaceful place for this community, and we're excited about it. We want to thank the Fulmer Bright Foundation for donating the fountain to the City of Richmond, so we want to give them a hand as well for their generosity. And the Friends of Jefferson Park for working with our Department of Parks and Recreation to keep this area pristine. They take great pride in this area. So thank you so much for all that you do. And on behalf of the citizens of Richmond, thank you for helping us put our best foot forward. I'm also very happy to be in the 7th District, where Dr. Cynthia Newbill reigns as city council person for the last 8 years, 4 years, 7 years. Okay, getting ready to have 4 more. Right? Are you running again? If the citizens will have you, the citizens will have you. I promise you that. Come on, let's give it up for Cynthia Newbill. She does a great job. She is 1,000% for this district. She works unceasingly to make sure that things get done. Her priorities are in the right place, and she has certainly been a great partner for me during these last 7.5 years. And so I'm always happy to come and be in the 7th District to be with Cynthia Newbill. She fights vigorously for this community. But I'm particularly pleased here tonight because this fountain is being dedicated to the memory of Alicia Raisin. And you notice that I know how to call her name. It's not Alicia, but it's Alicia Raisin. And if you did not call her Alicia Raisin, she would get you straight very quickly. She, for 30 years, was our ambassador of compassion. She, for 30 years, was available all times of the day and night when people lost loved ones to violence on our streets and in our city. They knew that they could depend on Alicia to be that listening ear and that voice of compassion, and she did that without ever complaining. People would come to her and they would give her tidbits and give her information to help solve crimes that they would not give the policeman in uniform, but they trusted Alicia with that information. And because of her ability to have that kind of confidence, we were able to solve many crimes. And so I thank God for her. She called me her brother, and she called me DC. She never called me mayor. She never called me reverend. I was always just DC. And I allowed her to do that because you didn't just mess with Alicia. You know, if that's what you wanted to call me, that was okay. But I think that this is a beautiful place for this fountain, a place that will conjure up notions of peace, that will conjure up notions of nonviolence. And when we come to this place, we are able to think about Richmond as it can be, and Richmond as it should be. And when we come to this place, we can contemplate that peace that passes all understanding. And so this is a wonderful gesture being made by the foundation in memory of a wonderful person that we don't want to forget, Alicia Raisin. And so tonight is a great night in the city of Richmond, and thank you so much for allowing me to share it with you.
Thank you, Mayor Jones. Next up, I'd like to welcome Delegate Jennifer McClellan, representative of the 71st District.
Thank you. One of the things that we do at the General Assembly, in addition to all of the bills that we pass resolutions to commemorate or memorialize and honor Virginians who have had a significant impact on their community. And so while I was very sad at the occasion of introducing this resolution, it was my honor to introduce this resolution as Alicia's delegate. And I just want to take a very brief moment to read it to you all. Whereas Alicia C. Raisin, a compassionate advocate for victims of crime and a beloved member of the Richmond community who welcomed any person in need into her home, died on October 9, 2015. And whereas a lifelong resident of the Churchill neighborhood in Richmond, Alicia Raisin graduated from John F. Kennedy High School and Virginia State University. And whereas in the 1990s, Alicia Raisin founded Citizens Against Crime to support victims and organize efforts to help citizens and law enforcement officers reduce crime in Richmond. She worked with 5 police chiefs to reduce the city's homicide rate and was once named the Mayor's Volunteer of the Year. And whereas dubbed an ambassador of compassion, Alicia Raisin also opened her home to share food, shelter, comfort, and prayer with community members afflicted by homelessness. And whereas Alicia Raisin believed that every day should be as joyful as Christmas, and her house was adorned with festive decorations for nearly 20 years. Inside, she kept a Christmas tree with donated presents and clothing for people in need. And whereas Alicia Raisin lived her deep faith through her actions and enjoyed fellowship and worship with the community as a life member of Fourth Baptist Church, where she was active in several church organizations. And whereas Alicia Raisin will be fondly remembered and greatly missed by numerous family members, friends, and people whose lives she touched, now therefore be it resolved by the House of Delegates, the Senate concurring, that the General Assembly hereby note with great sadness the loss of Alicia C. Raisin, a respected advocate for victims of crime and a pillar of the Richmond community. And I've asked if her sisters and any other members of the family that are here could come forward so that I could officially present this. I do have copies for each of you that I will get to you, but we were only able to bring one today. Thank you all.
And now, please welcome Council Member Cynthia Newbill from the 7th District.
Good afternoon, everyone. No, it's not that kind of event. Good afternoon, everyone. This is a great day in the district and a great honor and a great celebration. Richmond's Peace Fountain. This is an extraordinary site for Richmond's Peace Fountain and an extraordinary memorial to an incredible woman, our ambassador of compassion and advocate for peace. And so first, I'd really like to say thank you to those who made this possible. And so the J. Fulmore Bright Foundation, who actually donated the fountain, the city administration, city staff, Parks and Recreation, who worked with the Friends of Jefferson Park to have the fountain installed. And the Friends of Jefferson Park, if you could just raise your hands. This is an incredible group of folks. They are advocates for and committed to working to maintain and sustaining our park. I'd also just like to recognize Bill Conkle, who has certainly worked and led that group and advocating that this park would become a vital part of the fabric of our community. So it's not just a green space. This is a part of our life and well-being here. And it is a special place and a wonderful honor for Alicia Raisin, Richmond's ambassador of compassion, a community activist, a compassionate voice and haven of peace for people impacted by violence throughout our city, a champion for social justice. And so I know that people will come to this wonderful fountain to reflect, to just have a moment of solitude, and to think about the peace that can be. This will be a place where those who are committed advocates for peace and justice can gather to promote peace and nonviolence in our community and in our city. And I think with some of the recent actions in our community and losses in our community, I was thinking about this today and just what would you say? So much has been said about this ambassador of compassion. And so, but a saying came to me from Martin Luther King that I thought if Alicia was here, she might say something like this in appreciation. Dr. King said, that old law about an eye for an eye leaves everybody blind. The time is always right to do the right thing. Peace is not merely a distant goal. Peace is not merely a distant goal that we seek, but a means by which we arrive at that goal. This is an incredible memorial. This is an incredible site for not just the East End of Richmond, Mr. Mayor, not just the city of Richmond, this entire region and this Commonwealth to come and have an opportunity to reflect, to come and gather and to work on behalf of peace in our community and in our city, in our world. And so I thank all of you who have made this possible. And to Alicia Raisin's family, I thank you for lending her to us for such an incredible period of time, for supporting her as she supported others throughout the city. She is missed. She will never be forgotten, and this fountain will just be a small memory for all of us of the incredible work and incredible legacy she leaves to this community. And so I say thank you to everyone.
Thank you, Councilman Newbill. And now, you've heard him be talked about since I got here today. Bill Conkle, please come on up. Friends of Jefferson Park.
How y'all doing? Good. I'm Bill Conkle, and I've been the president of the Friends of Jefferson Park for about 20 some odd years, and I expect that I'll probably be the president of the Friends of Jefferson Park for another 20 or so. No one else seems to be stepping up to take my spot, but I'm real glad to be here. Mayor Jones, thank you very much for supporting it, and Dr. Newbill. We couldn't have done this without you guys, as well as Barbara Munges with the J. Fulmer Bright Foundation. Larry Miller, who some of you may know, worked with the city for longer than I've been the president of the Friends of Jefferson Park, and he was a doer and made things happen. And he bartered a deal with Barbara Munges and the J. Fulmer Bright Foundation to get us a fountain. And there was always a fountain in Jefferson Park. Many of you probably remember the one out here in the intersection. There's also one up here in the center, and we missed it a lot. And that was one of the major things that we heard. We need a fountain. So I went to them once, to the J. Fulmer Bright Foundation, and said, we need a fountain. And they said no. I bought them lunch and they still said no. But we went back again, and Barbara Munges and Larry Miller, and they said yes. It'd be a great way to close out J. Fulmer Bright Foundation to give this kind of a magnificent gift to the city. And so it happened. And 5 years later, it's installed by the city, and we have something that's amazing. You mentioned the Friends of Jefferson Park, and it's a lot of people here that work on keeping Jefferson Park nice. Kenneth and Connie Samuels, Mary Field, my vice president, Mark Lemaire, God help him. Marta Bunger, she was the secretary for quite a while and actually did a lot of the work, background stuff for the fountain. Nikhil Lemaire, my foster son, Chris Boswell, back in the back. He comes out and just slaves on that hillside, cutting back invasives. My dear friend Mark, my dear friend John Rossi, he's a monster when it comes to cleaning up the park. From the peace community, Dr. Ram Bhagat, I thought he would be here drumming, but I think he had a commute from Washington this afternoon and probably hasn't made it. But he was the 2016 Peacemaker of the Year from the Peace Education Center. And we're so proud to have him as a supporter of the fountain and a supporter of peace in the community. He started a group called Drums, Not Guns in the city, taking young men from the streets and turning them onto music. An amazing character. Similar to Alicia in that he had a calling and followed through. So other people in the city staff, I'm a state worker, government worker, and thank you, Jennifer McClellan, for all your support of us. But sometimes we don't get mentioned in these kind of events, but I need to mention Haywood Harrison. He was the project manager for this, and he nursed it from beginning to end and gave us something that was very beautiful. Marley Smith, she's our parks person here who keeps the place up to date. You already met Barry, a wonderful person, service-oriented. Tamara Jenkins did our press work. Dr. Murfield can't be here today, but he was amazing. And from Public Works, Mike Barber, the poor sucker. He's in charge of mowing for the city. Who wants that job, you know? But if you look around today, our park is beautiful, and it's because Mike Barber stepped up. We had a graffiti explosion on our hillside last week. It is gone. So the city stepped up and really helped us out, and we appreciate that level of service. So, you know, a fountain is a fountain, but a peace fountain is a place. It's a living, evolving public space. And in Alicia's honor, I'd love to see this place evolve into a place, a peace garden, a place where people can come and really find solitude. So in closing, I want to leave you with three different things. One is that parks, they're our shared wealth. You know, when you're born in Richmond, you're a very lucky sucker because you've got some amazing parks that belong to you. And if we could just instill in our children that you're born very wealthy here, whether you have nothing else, you have these places that are great places to make memories with your family, with your friends, but it is our shared wealth. And parks are in the business of making memories. Each of us is just a combination of those experiences we've had with our friends, with our families, memories, good memories that parks can help people have. So parks are a tonic for the mind, body, and spirit. They can help us heal and rejuvenate, and they can help us find peace. Thank you.
Well, our next speaker played an integral part in the procurement of this beautiful fountain. Please welcome Barbara Munges from the J. Fulmer Bright Foundation.
I agree with everything that's been said so far. Let me tell you a little bit about the J. Fulmer Bright Foundation, which is no longer in existence. In the early 80s, the Churchill Association, and I was president at that time, and the board discovered that the city had a big amount of money sitting down there that wasn't being used for anything. And it was the mayor of many, many years ago, J. Fulmer Bright. When he died, he left money to fix the park across from St. John's Church, Patrick Henry Park. And so the group, the Civic Association, I think I'm too close, decided to see if they could get that money and use it. I mean, it's been sitting there 30 years. And we luckily had a lawyer on the committee, and he said, what we need to do is make a foundation. So it went through the whole process of getting a foundation. We had to get permission from his family because the initial was only for Patrick Henry Park. And we did. They were very nice. And so we renovated or restored the 4 major parks up here. this park, Patrick Henry Park, Libby Hill Park, and Chimborazo Park. And if I remember, this was the second park done. And this one was unusual. In the first park, we had people who came to know architectures and all that. And the second park we got over here, and the city and the people here said, well, we can plan it. So we said, fine. So the original changes up here were done by the citizens. And you're still doing it. I mean, this is a beautiful way to end J. Fulmer Bright, because their goal was to improve the beauty of the environment and to make it peaceful and usable to people. And you all have done it. So I thank you very much. And it wasn't my money, so it was nice to give it away. Thank you.
Well, today's program is being held in honor of Alicia Raisin and the great work she did for the city. Speaking today on behalf of the Raisin family is Alicia's sister, Albertina Raisin Walker, and she's going to be followed afterwards by the community leader bell choir. But Albertina, if you want to come forward and say a few words, please.
All right, good evening. On behalf of my sisters, Pam Smith, Dr. Pam Smith, right there, and Rita Edwards, and other family members are here as well, nephews, my husband, cousins, really good family friends. So on behalf of all of us, thank you. Thank you to everyone who had any part in putting this together. We really want to thank you. We also have some members of Citizens Against Crime here. If you raise your hand, I'm sure you all know that Citizens Against Crime was an organization, thank you, that Alicia founded. And we also have our executive director here, Reverend Dr. Willie Woodson, who's right there. Yeah, thank you. Okay. And so all of us, again, we want to say thank you, especially to Bill Conkle. Where did he go? Oh, back there. Yeah. Bill and I have become friends over the past couple of months. Yeah, so a special thank you to Bill Conkle and to the Friends of Jefferson Park, to Mayor Jones, who's always supported us, to Delegate McClennan, thank you, Councilwoman Newbill, thank you as well, and to Ms. Munger, thank you as well for recognizing our sister Alicia for really doing what God had purposed for her life. Also right now I want to say thank you to our Fire Chief Creasy and to the Richmond Police Department and to Chief Durham, because they have been with us for a long time, through the good times, through the not so good times, and whenever we call on them to do anything, they're always there with us. And you're going to see some of their skills in a very few minutes when we ask them to help us out today. And they're going to do a very good job. It is very befitting that this fountain be named the Peace Fountain, because peace is exactly what Alicia worked so hard to bring about in neighborhoods. Peace is what she tried to bring to families who lost loved ones to murder and senseless violence. And peace is what she tried to bring to troubled youth who made bad decisions that oftentimes caused them to end up in the criminal justice system. We believe that Alicia's work will not be in vain. My family and Citizens Against Crime Incorporated are working to continue Alicia's legacy by focusing on the real story, which is not just the story that's inside of the yellow police tape, but the story that is outside of the yellow police tape, the families that are left to mourn the loss of their loved ones. And so one of the ways that we are assisting families is that we, Citizens Against Crime, we have organized a Citizens Against Crime Youth Ambassadors Program. And next year, God willing, we plan to offer scholarships in the name of Alicia to deserving college-bound students. And so in closing, thank you. In closing, it is our desire that this area of Jefferson Park, that it will be a place where anyone can come to pray, to meditate, and to find inner peace when struggling with life's challenges. Again, thank you so very much.
And now we get to see the skills of two of our chiefs, along with the rest of the bill choir. We have that recorded. CDs will be made available soon.
We'll be signing autographs up here. Autographs.
Go towards maintenance of the fountain. No. If I can ask Reverend Ben Campbell to come forward, please, and lead us in prayer and maybe a blessing of the fountain. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm sitting here thinking, or standing here thinking about how what Alicia did was she went into places that were completely unrehearsed and brought courage and life to them. That's what she did over and over and over again. So many of the absolutely essential things that either make or destroy our lives and our city are these unrehearsed realities. And so her vocation was basically to give everybody else courage and hope and to walk into situations that were that way and that needed her presence, her constant, intentional presence in situations that were just beyond anything anyone would ever have wished. So first, I'd like to just ask you to pray with me for an end to murder and violence within this city, for the reconciliation of the people of this city with one another, for the lifting up of those. This is a prayer, by the way. This is the way white people do it. Okay. I was going to call Willie up here, but this is what I've got. So, Lord, we're praying for an end to murder in this city. We're praying for all those men and women who have been affected by violence in this city and are in danger of it today. We're praying for all those whose hearts are infected by despair and hatred and violence and whose feelings have been shut off from them, Lord, who may want to hurt others because they themselves are hurt. We're praying for a recovery of the spirit of community that is essential to our common life here, and that this fountain here may be a place which stands for that recovery, for that insistence that we are in a place of common life, that we are brothers and sisters to one another, not because we chose it, but because we got put here, Lord. as brothers and sisters. So we claim one another. We claim it in your name, and we claim it in the name of our sister Alicia, whose vocation was to give us courage. We claim the power of life represented by this water that is flowing up over and over again, renewing the power of hope. We claim the vision and the witness of this moment, of this hillside, of the beauty of this place. We claim your power, Lord. We ask your power, the power of your Spirit, to come against evil and death in this city, Lord. Come against evil and death in this city and bring us the life that you promised, more than ever, better than ever, to all the people in this community. Your resurrection power, Lord, like this water flowing up out of the earth, may we be renewed by the power of your Spirit and find in one another your hope. And Lord, I ask you to bless this fountain. Bless this fountain as a place of peace. Bless it as a symbol of what you intend for this city. Bless it as a continuation of the vision and the hope that Alicia raised up for us by listening to your voice and heeding this most superior and wonderful vocation that she received. And may her spirit multiply within this city, Lord, so that we are not afraid, so that we can comfort and strengthen one another, so that we may take care of those who are brokenhearted, and so that we make sure that every person in this community has a way forward in their life. Amen.